Welcome to G3, Games, Gadgets, and Guests, an audio and video podcast from 702 Communications. I'm your host, Brian Crommett. We've got a gadget episode for you today, and today we're going to be talking about Tile. Tile is an interesting gadget, and maybe a lot of you know about it. It's not brand new. In fact, I think we're in Gen 2 right now of Tile. But what Tile is a device that will help you locate lost things. Honestly, I don't have a lot of trouble misplacing my stuff, but my wife will admit to you that she's constantly looking for her phone, occasionally looking for her keys. And so when I saw the Tile, I thought, that might be an interesting thing to try and let my wife use and see if we can maybe mitigate some of these lost items a little bit more quickly. So we got a 4-pack here. You can buy them individually, but we got a 4-pack. And my initial impression was that it's just a little bit larger than I thought or hoped it might be. When I had this in my head, I thought Tile is maybe going to be something that you can just slip underneath the phone cover and there it is. But I admit I didn't know a whole lot about how Tile worked before we picked them up, and now that I do, I understand the form factor. There's a speaker in the Tile. Obviously, there's a battery in the Tile because it connects Bluetooth to your phone, and it's got to be about this size, but the size was just a little bit off-putting for me. I put it on my keychain, and I don't have much on my keychain generally, so you can see the Tile is now most of my keychain, my fob or key fob excluded. But it does some really interesting things. And I got a couple Tiles set up yesterday on my phone. And setup is really easy. All you have to do is download the Tile app, set up for a Tile account. And then adding tiles to your account is super simple. All you have to do is take the Tile, press it and hold on the E. It's going to play you a little tune, and then you hold it up to your phone, and it's paired. And then it ends up in your list of tiles on the phone. The other really interesting thing you can do then is any of these tiles that you have, you can share with another Tile user. And so I took and I put one on my keychain and shared it with my wife. So, for instance, if I didn't have my phone and she did, she could look for my keys. And so she did the same thing, and now I gave her one for her keys, and she's shared it with me, and so we can go back and forth and look for each other's keys. So I'm just going to demonstrate this real quick. You've got this whole list here of tiles, and I had 4 of them, but then it counts my phone and my wife's phone as tiles as well, so it looks like I've got 6. But for instance, if I lost my keys, I can press my keys, I can press find, and it plays the happy little song of being found, and I can press done, and my keys are found. The other really interesting thing is it uses the GPS on your phone, and so it can tell me that my keys, I can bring up the map here, it shows me that my keys are currently around Broadway and the railroad tracks here in Fargo. So that's interesting, and it leads into the next point. That's really a handy thing is if you've got a Tile, then you're part of the Tile community. And what that means is anytime a Tile sees another user's phone, it's going to reach out to it and say, hey, I'm here. It's not going to give you any information about, it's not personal information like, hey, here's Brian right here, here's his keys right here, or anything like that. But if you're in a situation maybe where you're in a park and you dropped your keys or phone or whatever, and another user happens to be walking by within Bluetooth range, and you press on your phone or whomever's phone to say that you lost your stuff, anybody walking by is going to ping that device, and you're going to get an email saying your device is found. Here it is on the GPS. It's within 25 feet of this position. And so that's kind of a cool community find thing that Tile gives you. The one thing that I will say too, that's maybe a con, is once I got these tiles set up on my phone and I sent them to my wife so that she could be a tile user or share those tiles with me. Those tiles are going to pair with whatever Bluetooth device is closest or strongest. And so I've got my iPhone and my wife has a Nexus 5. And it turns out the Nexus 5's Bluetooth is stronger than the iPhone's. And so I went last night and I was going to show my kids how the tile worked. And none of my tiles were my own. They had all transferred ownership to my wife. So I could just say, I don't know where my tile is. It's lost. And my wife actually had control. And so she went into her app and pressed the device and the tiles started going off. And so I don't know that that's a con, but it's something to be aware of if you're in a household and you've shared tiles. If you're going to want to control it, you're going to have the strongest Bluetooth. So just be aware of that. But the tile, I think it's got a lot of interesting applications. I think if you're someone who loses or misplaces your keys or phone, or maybe your backpack or whatever, the tile could be of benefit to you. It's pretty easy to get into if you've got a smartphone already. It's, like I say, just $25. So it's worth a look. The one other thing I guess I should mention is these tiles are good for about a year. And after a year, you need to replace them. And what Tile has done is set up a replacement program that you replace these tiles by sending them back, and then they will send you a new one at a discounted price. So you're not going to pay the $24 for the new ones after you renew. But just for battery life, you can't replace the battery on this. You have to replace the tile. So that's possibly a con for you, but it's something to be aware of going in. But so the tile, an interesting device. We'll see how what sort of longevity it has in my household as a gadget. But for $25, I guess it doesn't have to last forever to be a useful gadget. And that's it. That's the tile. That's the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we got some benefit out of it, and give it a shot if you like. Again, as always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, I hope you'll subscribe either on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, wherever you want to get your podcasts. We are everywhere. Hope you tell your friends if you enjoy it, because we'd love to keep seeing more users, more views, more listens. And we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up the rest of this year. We've got more games, more gadgets, and more guests. So keep tuning in. Until next time, this is G3. I'm Brian Cromit. Game on.